Hey, what's up, guys? It's Keaton from Muffbusters here, and today I'm gonna bring you guys a comic book video. I hope you guys saw my boy Brooks's last video. If you haven't seen that, go check it out. But we both bought from this chick called Rockwell, and he got a mystery box and some like 2 or 3 comics on the side, and then I just kind of like pick and chose, you know, what I thought would be cool. So yeah, I thought I'd hop on and show you guys this shit. First off, though, before we get to the comics from Rockwell, I thought I'd show off 3 comics that I got from just a random shop in Minneapolis. It wasn't even a comic shop, it's just a book shop, but this guy had like a few comics there. So I picked up 3 of them that I thought looked kind of interesting, and yeah, I'm gonna get straight to it. So the first one we got here is the Fantastic Four, Marvel's Greatest Comics, right here. And I want to make sure you guys can see okay without the glare. But yeah, there we go. Just a random issue. I mean, at a random point in time. I don't really like know much about it, but I just thought it looked like an interesting read, and I wanted to grab some of the comics there. So yeah, we got that one right there. And then this one I did read. I haven't read this one yet. I still got to read this one. But this one I read, and it was fucking pretty good comic, I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, we got Daredevil, and he's going up against Leapfrog right here. This is issue number 4 of Marvel Adventure Daredevil, featuring Daredevil. But yeah, so I thought that was a pretty cool one. And then next up, we got Marvel Spotlight on Deathlock the Demolisher, issue number 33. This one I read too. This was pretty good. I mean, no regrets for either one of these two. These two were fucking amazing. I really like these. It's just the Fantastic Four one that I still gotta read. But yeah, so that's the random 3 from that little shop. And now let's get started with Rockwell. So right here we got Daredevil, The Man Without Fear, issue 295. I thought this would be a cool read. You know, he's side by side with Ghost Rider, so I thought that'd be pretty cool. Cover looks fucking cool. I don't know, it just spoke out to me, so I decided to cop that right there. And then next up, I haven't read this one yet, but I'm super excited to. It's Marvel Collector's Item Classics, a story written by Stan Lee. I believe it's like multiple stories, like a mix of stories, but this right here is actually a little special to me because this is my very first Marvel comic from the 60s, so yeah, that's pretty cool. And then next up, I've always came across this series, just looking through shops, and I've never really given it a try, but it's always kind of interested me a bit. So when I saw them on Ruby's site, I decided to go for it. We got a Master of Kung Fu. So right there as, yeah, issue 28. And then right here we got issue 30. So I thought these would be 2 pretty cool comics, you know, all up in that booty hole. Yeah, so you know what I mean? 2 cool comics. And then right here, okay, so this is going to be my only complaint buying from Rockwell. I really liked all her comics. It was great deals. It came fast as hell. They were protected. They were all bagged and boarded. But this one was disappointing for sure, and I was kind of looking forward to it. It's the Sensational She-Hulk right here. You got Spidey on the cover with her. I've only ever owned like 1 She-Hulk comic, and it was one of the first comics I ever bought. It was like a group of comics just from some dude off the street. This was back when I was living in Florida. He was just selling his comics from like a little pop-up table on a random street corner, and I went for it. And yeah, so I decided to try out another She-Hulk comic, and this was the only one she had on there at the time. And of course, I love Spidey. That's probably, you know, when it comes to my collection, I think I have more Spidey than anything. But, yeah, so I copped this for sure, and I started reading it. We're like 2 pages in, it's all good, and then I saw just, I'm gonna have to show you guys, there's only one way to explain, and it was disappointing. I've never seen a comic, like, treated like this before, and yeah, so, let me find it. So, first page here, right? Everything's cool, it's all good, except when you go to flip it, I don't know if you can notice, but there's like right there, there's like a cut line. Yeah, you see that? Within the paper, you see that? So that was a bad sign. And then you get, okay, it starts on page 2. You get to page 2, I don't know if you can see that. Someone literally, this comic is cut to shreds. This comic is literally cut to shreds. And it really pissed me off because it was listed in fairly good condition. It didn't say anything about the fucked up pages, you know what I mean? And so that was annoying. I've never seen a comic treated like that. And the fact that it was, this too, was completely cut out and they just shut it all back in and fucking sold it. I don't know if they're just in a rush because they're doing like a New Year's sale, but I didn't appreciate that. So, yeah, that was disappointing. Just set this aside for now. But that's gonna be my only complaint. Everything else is fucking great. So right here, we got the Flash, old issue of the Flash here, and I believe this is either from the very early 70s or like 69 maybe. I can't remember, but yeah, I'm really excited to read this one. I haven't read this one yet. Out of all the comics I got, I think so far, and I just got them like this week, so, but so far I've read, let's see, like eight of them. So that's about half of them. I think I got like 16, and then she threw in 2 free comics. But yeah, there's that right there. I think it's a really cool cover. I just really like the old comics like this. That's kind of my go-to is the older stuff. I really like the artwork. It looks more original. It looks like it's not just done by computer like all the new ones, but they're still good new comics. And then right here, since I always owned like an issue of this, but never went further, I decided to go ahead and cop a new issue, and this is going to be Superboy right there. As you can see, he's getting some gambling going on or something. Something like his powers aren't working or something, so he has to take a wild guess or something like that. But yeah, I'm excited for this. Should be a cool read. Okay, and then this right here. So when I saw this, I definitely had to cop it. It's a Superman issue 215, and it's the death of Lois Lane. Let me see, there's like a glare here. But yeah, there's that. Really excited to read this. This is one of the ones I'm going to wait to read last, because I want to save the best for last. It might not be the best, I don't know, but yeah. And then this right here, this was a free comic, so it's not in the best condition. It's kind of shitty condition, to be honest, but it could be worse. And it's actually a fairly old comic too. But yeah, it's DC Adventure Comics featuring Supergirl right there. And as you can see in markers, like it says 4 out of 5 on it, and it looks like it could be on the back, but that's actually written on the cover for some fucking reason. And then they had this stamp right here, like it was in a library or something, this stamp from 71. So, and there's also you probably can't see it, but there's like a rip going down there. But I mean, this is just tossed in for free. I still think it's cool. The cover looks sick, so why not? Next up, I read this one. This is Peter Parker, the Spectacular Spider-Man, and the cover really jumped out to me. I thought this would be a good read, and it's now one of my favorite Spidey comics. I don't know, it's just a fun little read. It was cool. Next up, we got Spider-Man Part 1 of 2. It's actually issue 6, but yeah, this is with the Hobgoblin, and it also has Ghost Rider in it. It's the art's done by Todd McFarlane too, but and it's won some awards, like 4 awards on the top. So I thought this is definitely a really cool read. Unfortunately, I couldn't really get into this one. I thought the artwork was cool, but the story was kind of lacking a bit. I thought there could be more action, but still no regrets. I'm glad I bought it, and yeah, so there's that. And next up, these are like the first ones I read when I got these comics, one of the first ones. And it's like a little series, Detective Comics, the Mud Pack series. So here's issue 605. It's part 2 of a 4-issue miniseries. And I wasn't able to find part 1, but I don't know, like usual, the cover spoke out to me. And it looked cool, and I wanted to check it out. So I got part 2 right here, which was amazing. Part 3 right here, which was even more amazing. trying to bypass this fucking glare. But yeah, and then the ending, part 4. This is one of the best Batman miniseries I've ever read, to be honest. I really enjoyed these, and the artwork's fucking amazing. It's just, yeah, I like these comics. So if you're ever looking for a good little miniseries to read, I'd highly recommend these. And then next off, I actually just read this one last night. This is Detective Comics starring Batman, issue 8, or not 8, issue 575. No, 557. I can't fucking read. But yeah, this was pretty cool. What really made me want to read this is it says Robin fights alone as a Slayer stalks the night. That shit sounds hard. So I checked it out, and it was pretty cool. It was a good read. I'd highly recommend it. These were all pretty much good reads so far. Just besides that She-Hulk comic, everything else has been good. That one Spider-Man comic could have been a better read, but it was still cool. And then this one I read last night as well. This is issue 247 of Batman. It's a special holiday issue. This was a crazy ass issue, I'm not gonna lie. They had some wild stuff going on, and just reading it was straight up enjoyable. So yeah, and I'm thinking about, actually, I have more comics coming too, so there'll probably be a video on that. But I'm thinking about starting to try and acquire this whole series. I don't know how hard it's going to be to get each and every one. It's probably going to be a lot of money, but why not? And then the last, well, there's 2 more, but the last one here, which is also one of the ones I want to save for the end of these comics, you know, best for last type deal, is The Brave and the Bold, Batman and the Teen Titans. So this is a pretty brittle a little bit, but it's still definitely readable. I love the cover, and Batman's also fucking glare. Batman's also in a concentration camp, which just sounds fucking wild, and Robin's accusing him of like letting something terrible happen, so that's gotta be a crazy read. And it's the Teen Titans. And then the last one, this was a free one thrown in. We got Spider-Man issue 10. I believe this is for kids though, to be honest. I'm not sure. I think so. But yeah, it's part 2 of 4 and just a random mini-series, Marvel Knights. Yeah, it was thrown in for free. No complaints there. It might be a good read, so I'll have to check it out. But yeah. So that's the comics right there. That's the whole get down. And yeah, I hope you guys like this video. There'll probably be more. And stay checking the channel for my boys' videos. And yeah, peace out, busters.